What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we have a fun battle submission from I'm Rolling Stone utilizing a Milotic in the Ultra League Weather Cup. And these battles are on iPad, which is why we have the setup that we do over there, but we see a Kyurem on the lead versus Jellicent. Now this is an interesting matchup where either Pokemon could take it, but what's so good about Kyurem is you can actually go for Glaciate, which is resisted, but it's going to lower the attack of Jellicent, which is going to allow you to tank charge moves a lot easier, especially that Shadow Ball. So we will see a shield be put up right away, and it is, in fact, going to be a Shadow Ball. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a swap out here at some point, as we will see another Glaciate go through. This is going to allow Kyurem to easily tank the next Shadow Ball that can come in without necessarily having to give up a shield, as we do see a swap out now into Infernape. I actually haven't seen this Pokemon used in a long time, and I believe it does have access to Solar Beam. I could be wrong about that. I haven't seen this Pokemon be used in years, but Blast Burn right here still does a good amount of resisted damage as a Surf now coming through from the Jellicent to try to take out Infernape. But Infernape does have two shields, so we'll have to see what they decide to do. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and shield one of the charge moves to try to land another Blast Burn right here. As if you can get this Jellicent low enough, you could potentially come in and farm down with their third Pokemon. So let's see if they can get this Surf off, and they do. Infernape likely gonna be able to no shield it right here. I don't think they're gonna try to commit to the farm down. No, they shielded it. Very interesting. Really wanting to commit to the farm down, but Jellicent has so much energy that the Surf now is gonna be able to take it out, and they are unshielded and didn't get switch advantage, which is really unfortunate now as they can get to a Surf here in time. But a beautiful swap into their own Jellicent now to catch the charge move. So this is gonna be a good game. Either way, we are going to see Milotic close this out as they counter swap back into Kyurem. This is what's beautiful about the Ultra League, is there's so much more bulk that you can actually dance around with your teams. But Milotic here is going to take it. It has access to Surf. It has access to Blizzard. We'll have to see what fast move they are going to run. I would imagine Dragon Tail is a fast move, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is Waterfall. But Dragon Tail would make a lot more sense, as they're going to go ahead and go for this Glaciate and then swap. No, they can't swap out. They don't have Switch Clock up. But they do get that attack drop, and Regirock now is going to be forced to throw energy. And this is what's cool and bad about the Regi family, is Lock-On can really never farm down Pokemon, especially when they're in the yellow. In that situation, Milotic is running Dragon Tail as a fast move, so it's going to be able to get to the Surf and close this game out. So that is going to be a good battle, very well played. Honestly, I think this team was really carried by the Jellicent Kyurem combination, but Milotic is still so tough to get through right there that Regirock couldn't do anything. So good first battle. All right, moving into the next one, we have... Oh, here we go. Sorry, jumping around. We got Credilli here on the lead. So both Pokemon capable of doing super effective damage to each other. Just got to watch out for that Stone Edge. But we will see Glaciates come out right away from Kyurem, as it's going to be lowering that attack, allowing them, again, it's like Icy Wind on Dugong in the Great League, which a lot of you guys are familiar with, but it just does much more damage, which is beautiful to see, and it's really nice to have in this meta of the Weather Cup because of basically the neutral or super effective damage it can do across the board, and even does well in those matchups where it resists, like we saw against the Jellicent. So now we see a Samurott swap in, so they're likely going to go for another Glaciate and then probably swap into Jellicent right here, because of the neutral damage they can do with Hex and Shadow Ball. Now, we could see an opportunity here where Jellicent might go for Surf. And the reason being is Samurott is not going to be able to do anything here against Jellicent, as you can see, just resisting all of these moves. But the Surf is going to do just enough chip damage where they could potentially farm down with Hex and have 100 energy or near 100 energy on the back end right here. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Shadow Ball would KO, but it's always nice if you have that opportunity to farm down safely that you take advantage of it. So we're going to see another Hydro Cannon come through. I don't think they'll be able to get to a fourth one in time, as the Switch Clock is now coming back up, and actually we see a fast swap into Credilli with energy, which is a beautiful swap by the opponent, as they're going to be forced to shield the Grass Knot now and go for a Surf. This isn't going to be enough to take out Credilli because it is Rock Grass, so it's only going to take neutral damage, but they get a shield anyways, and hopefully this is going to do enough chip damage. But trouble is the Credilli here might just be able to load up on enough energy to have a Stone Edge on the back end. No, I don't. It's kind of close. It's got a good amount of energy, but I don't think it's going to be able to get to a Stone Edge quickly. I think it might be 2 away. So there's 1. Yeah, there's 2. It wasn't enough until they were farmed down by Dragon Breath. So let's see what decides to come in. Samurott is low. Final Pokemon is going to be Swampert. Yeah, that's a good game. Glaciate right here is going to apply that debuff. We will see the Milotic come in and just close this game out, because Swampert now has to land 3 Earthquakes in this game in order to win. And I don't think it's going to be able to do that considering the Dragon Tail damage. Now, if there's a catch by the opponent, as Earthquake now takes out Kyurem, if there's a catch by the opponent on the Surf, that is a potential win condition, but honestly, Dragon Tail is just doing too much, and no, they didn't get the catch. Dragon Tail from Milotic, able to take out the Samurott, and now going for the Surf here against the Swampert, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Milotic, once again, closing out the game very easily, very comfortably, lots of health. So that is a good battle. Moving to the next one, we have Kyurem on the lead versus Abomasnow. Alright, so a tough matchup for both Pokemon here, and we'll see how they decide to play it. As Glaciate, you really want to apply that damage and debuff before you get hit with a Weather Ball, so we will see a shield go up early. If you have a move that is going to be guaranteed to lower the attack of your opponent, it's better to shield that first charge move, because the next ones aren't going to do as much damage, right? So the Glaciate now coming through, no shielded by the Abomasnow. We see a counter swap now into Jellicent, so we'll have to see how they play this out. We're going to see that Glaciate come through, but it's a matter of if they decide to go into a different Pokemon. I think ultimately they're in a tough position. They can't safely come in with their own Jellicent, but they do decide to come in with Milotic now to catch the charge move, and they're in a good position here where Dragon Tail is going to do enough neutral damage, and Jellicent is low enough from the Dragon Breath and Glaciate from Kyurem that this is a winnable mid-game for them, and they could potentially come out of here with energy. Now they're going to go ahead and let this next Shadow Ball go through thanks to the attack debuff from Glaciate, but they're going to have to throw a Surf here soon in order to take out Jellicent, but I think it might just be able to survive, and it's a matter of if it can get to another charge move in time. No, it can't survive. Milotic, my bad for disrespecting your potential damage, as they're going to try to go for a Surf here on CMP tie, but they're likely going to be taken out by Weather Ball. I could be completely wrong here. No, Milotic hangs on. Okay, Weather Ball not able to do enough. I know it was resisted, but that Milotic was low enough that it actually survived with 1 HP in a Dream. We see a counter swap now into Kingdra and a counter swap into Kyurem as they go for the Glaciate here to apply that debuff. And then it's going to be Dragon Breath versus Jellicent in the back, and I think Jellicent is going to be able to take it in all honesty. They can also clear the debuff as well if they get hit with the Octazooka, which could be deadly. So they're going to go ahead and look to go for a Surf for a shield bait. Now this is that charge move where you want to shield it early, and it is going to be the Outrage, so that's really huge. Both trainers here have 2 Pokemon, so we'll have to see if they try to catch the charge move. No swap there from the opponent. Maybe their switch clock wasn't up just yet, but a Surf now is going to be enough to put pressure on the Kingdra. Milotic coming up. Oh no, they just go straight for Shadow Ball right away. So Kingdra going to be knocked out here, and I believe it is just the Abomasnow left in the back, which is very low on health, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Alright, a lot of dancing around there, like we saw, and that's what happens in the Ultra League when you have these sets where Pokemon are just tanking so much more damage. Alright, moving to the next one, we have Kyurem on the lead versus Abomasnow once again. So we'll have to see how they play out this one, but it's most likely going to be a similar sequence where we see a shield from Kyurem early on that first Weather Ball, and then they go for the Glaciate. And this is how you want to play your Kyurem, is you want to leverage the damage that it can output with that neutral damage of Dragon Breath, and apply those debuffs very early to Abomasnow so you can really snowball the Snowman, if you get what I mean. We do see a shield from Abomasnow and a counter swap now into Swampert, so this is a good position where they can safely go for Glaciate here, and then I imagine we might see Milotic come into this matchup with Dragon Tail and try to farm down. Yep, the Milotic is going to go ahead and come in. Milotic can easily tank an Earthquake right here as well. I don't believe it can tank 2, but we'll have to see how much damage it actually does. It could tank 2. It's going to be able to farm down Swampert, not even able to, it barely got it past the green into the yellow, which means it can definitely survive this next Earthquake and fully farm down. And this time it has Hyper Beam instead of Blizzard. This is a twist of events here, as we see, I believe that was Tapu Fini came in. I saw Water Fairy in the top and a Water Gun fast move, as Hyper Beam is going to land for 50% HP against Tapu Fini, and this is looking to be a good game as Jellicent now can come in. We see a counter swap into Abomasnow, but Jellicent can easily tank an Energy Ball right here. I mean, yeah, they're going to go ahead and shield. I mean, why not? This is going to be the hardest hitting move really left in the game for super effective damage. So they're going to go ahead and go for the Surf shield bait, as the opponent needs to be very fearful of that Shadow Ball. But this could be a good call from the opponent. No, they do shield, and rightfully so. You got to fear the Shadow Ball damage, as they can now get to another one. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a swap out if this doesn't KO to try to catch the charge move. Yep, there's the swap out. There's the farm down. Beautiful! As we now see Tapu Fini come in, and this is where you just want to go for those Glaciates. Both are resisted because of typing, but you want to apply that attack debuff. So that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Alright, moving into the next one. We have Kyurem on the lead versus Swampert. Okay, so Swampert going to have a tough time here facing off against Dragon Breath, as we see a counter swap into Abomasnow right away. But this is going to allow Kyurem to get to that Glaciate before the Weather Ball from Abomasnow. And I wouldn't be surprised if we try to see a swap to catch a Weather Ball on one of these Pokemon, especially since they just got a shield. Let's see if they swap. They're feeling it. No, they're going to go ahead and likely, yeah, they are going to shield this right here. And now you might want to catch, because they might throw exactly on the energy for the next Weather Ball. Nope, you're just going to go ahead and go straight for Glaciate. This now puts Abomasnow in a very tough position, because if they don't shield, they're going to get farmed down. And if they do shield, they're going to get farmed down anyways, as Weather Ball now is going to be doing nothing here to that Dragon Ice typing of Kyurem. Yeah, not enough. They're going to go ahead and swap out now into Milotic to fully farm down, as they're going to be hit. And they can survive Energy Ball too. This Abomasnow does have a good amount of energy, where Energy Ball here is not even going to do 50% HP because of those attack debuffs. And Milotic in a very good position to farm down. And Swampert now coming in. We've got an unshielded Hyper Beam, but not risking it to go all the way. Why? We wanted to see the boom, but that's okay. Surf is going to do enough neutral damage to put some more pressure here on Swampert, as Swampert is going to be forced to throw that Earthquake. They can't load up on too much extra energy, because Milotic's Dragon Tails are going to be adding up, which then puts Jellicent in a very good position to farm down with Hex, or we might see the Kyurem come back in. Hydro Cannon, not enough. Oh, this is unfortunate for Swampert, having to throw 2 charge moves now, expending all of that extra energy that they had. And now we will see Kyurem come in and farm down. Abomasnow still needs to be handled, and we don't know what that third Pokemon is, but let's find out. We have, it's going to be a Sandslash, so we're going to see a swap out into Jellicent right away. Abomasnow is going to be coming in, and this is the hardest hitting move left in the game. Again, that's why we're going to see that shield come in. You got to know those typings. You got to know the movesets the Pokemon has. Though Alolan Sandslash has access to Shadow Claw as a fast move, the charge moves it has access to are not going to be doing super effective damage, so it's safe to shield the potential Energy Ball there and commit to the farm down. I really like that play, as Shadow Ball now is going to do a good amount of neutral damage, but Sandslash in a very tough position right here. A solid Pokemon, literally, Steel Ice, but it's not going to have the neutral damage that it needs to apply. And I hope in the future we see an update put to Bulldoze, because there are some cool Pokemon that run it that could use that extra high quality neutral damage in a lot of these situations. But Kyurem's going to go ahead and come in and go for a Dragon Claw to close this game out. So that's going to be a good battle. Very well played. Now, the question is, does Bulldoze go more towards Earthquake style, where it just does more damage, or does it go more towards Drill Run, where it's a bit more spammy? Tough call. I think ultimately it needs to go for higher damage, I think, or maybe have some kind of utility to it. But we see a Credilli in this game. Like we've seen before, this is a tough matchup because of both Pokemon doing super effective damage to each other, but thankfully with the attack debuff here, Kyurem is now safe from that Stone Edge potential one-shot. So it's going to land for a lot of damage right there, as they could easily shield this and commit to the farm down, but they're going to let it go, as the Stone Edge now not enough to one-shot, and we do see a swap into Jellicent, so hopefully they can get to a Glaciate in time, and they do right there. Now applying that attack debuff, and we might see the mirror. No, they're going to come in with Milotic. And the Jellicent decided to throw, which is perfectly fine here with Kyurem, as they can now come in with Milotic. Oh, no, they're going to come in with Jellicent. See, that's why I thought we were going to see a swap into the mirror, because if they are ahead on energy, they can easily win this battle. So they're going to go ahead, or ahead on health, I should say. They can easily win this battle because Shadow Ball at full HP doesn't really one-shot, as I've used it before, even with a poor IV poke, or not, it's not poor IV, it's just not maxed XL, minus 2300 combat power. It can survive a Shadow Ball here in the Ultra League, which just speaks to the bulk that these Jellicents have, as we now see a counter swap into Milotic, saving Jellicent. So this has got to be a read here on the team, as we now see a counter swap into Swampert, so hopefully Milotic can take it, but there is still a Credilli to take down, there is still a Jellicent to take down. So I'm curious to see how they will play this out, as Surf now does land for a good amount of neutral damage, but Milotic needs to step up to the plate and try to get rid of this Swampert, as Sludge Wave is going to be landing, but not enough to take it out, as they might just be able to get to this next Surf in time, but no! We will see another no shield, so now it is up to Jellicent to take down Swampert, Jellicent, and Credilli. It has a good amount of energy, but I don't know if it's going to be able to. Actually, now that we know the moveset, Hydro Cannon, Sludge Wave, this Jellicent doesn't actually have to shield. They can safely let these go through and farm down, but instead they're going to go ahead and go for the Surf. And this Credilli is what I'm really worried about from the opponent's side, because they can easily swap out and catch a charge move, as Jellicent now is going to be coming in. And will we see the swap into Credilli? No, they're going to go ahead and go for the Surf, but if the opponent gives up a shield here, Jellicent might just be able to win. No, they decide to no shield. That is a good call from the opponent, as now they are forced to shield the potential Shadow Ball, and we will see that Grass Knot coming through here from Credilli to close this game. But there is double Surf ready to go, and Credilli is low enough where it could actually be taken out from a Surf charge move, as they decide to shield, and they have the back-to-back ready to go. So hopefully Credilli goes down, and now it's going to be a Hex off in the end game here, and able to take it. Jellicent, why did I not trust you there? Able to win. What a beautiful battle. All right, moving into the next one. We have Kyurem on the lead versus Lantern. Okay, so a very good lead for them, as they do have double water in the back, and we see a swap out now into Regirock, and this is dangerous because they're gonna get to that Stone Edge very quickly, and they are gonna be forced to shield. Now, it'll be curious to see who they decide to come in with, whether it's Milotic or Jellicent, because both Pokemon are going to take a lot of damage if the Regirock has access to Zap Cannon. So let's see, they're deciding to stay in. They have to come in with one of these waters at some point, and they are going to come in on the charge move. That's a beautiful catch right there, as Stone Edge here is only going to do neutral damage, and now it's going to be a race between Lock-On and Dragon Tail, as Lock-On might be able to get to another charge move in time, as they're reading, you know what, this isn't enough for Zap Cannon, I'm going to let it go through, and it is going to be Stone Edge right there, so they can survive. They can fully farm down. This is so risky. They get it. All right. Lantern coming in now. It does have access to Spark, but thankfully Hyper Beam here is going to do so much neutral damage, and I don't think the opponent is going to see it coming. No, they do decide to shield. That's a strong shield from the opponent, not risking it, and yeah, going to go for the full Spark down here, as Surf trying to do as much chip damage as possible. It's better to just throw it, even though it's heavily resisted, because now you got the Lantern to basically 50% HP. You can safely come in with Kyurem, waiting out that timer, waiting out that switch clock. Kyurem's now going to come in, and let's see how the opponent decides to adjust. We see a Regice come in, and Jellicent now in a very tough position because Regice has access to Thunder from down under. It's not going to be enough to one-shot, but it puts them in a very tough position where they will have to shield if they want to win this matchup. But ultimately, I think Kyurem is going to be the play, is going to be the Pokemon that you have to invest the shield in, because it is going to carry you on the back end against Lantern, as they do get a shield there from Regice, but unfortunately not able to get to the next Shadow Ball in time, so they're going to invest that shield anyways, as Regice goes for another Thunder, and they're hoping to get to the Shadow Ball here. But this is the troubling thing, Regice with Switch Claw coming back up might be able to swap out and bank a charge move, which would be so dangerous. So watch out for that Switch Claw coming back in. No, able to get to the Surf in time. And will we see? Thing is, you can't really safely swap into Kyurem because they could have Focus Blast. So they're gonna, oh man, they threw the Thunder. That is unfortunate right here. If I was Regice, I would have been holding on to that charge move. As Thunder now, boom, takes out Jellicent. We will see Kyurem come in and Dragon Breath down as they go for a Glaciate here against the Lantern so they can safely survive all of that energy that this Lantern has, and the opponent decides to surrender. So that is going to be a good battle, very well played. All right, moving into the next one. We have Kyurem on the lead versus Swampert. Okay, once again, very nice matchup, and Kyurem has really great play in this meta as we see a swap out now into Sandslash, so we will see that Jellicent come in. Even though, like we said earlier, even though they're taking super effective damage from these fast moves, they're not going to be one-shot by charge moves here, as they're going to go ahead and shield the Bulldoze early and look to go for Shadow Ball. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and go for that Shadow Ball here. But Alolan Sandslash, if they want to take it into the 2s, could take this because of the Shadow Claw damage, so that's what we're looking like. We're already in the 1s now, and here comes another potential Bulldoze. Jellicent going to go ahead and give up shield number 2 to maintain switch advantage, and this is where Alolan Sandslash could potentially shine if they successfully shield this Shadow Ball, because Shadow Claw gains energy so quickly that they might be able to get to another Bulldoze, and they are going to invest in the next shield, but they are able to get to another Shadow Ball here. But the Ultra League is ultimately going to show why Alolan Sandslash can be so deadly as they do survive. And they counter swap now into Milotic. And Noah Blaziken comes into a Milotic. This is so unfortunate, as Surf here is going to be doing super effective damage. And what a twist of events. It looked like Sandslash was going to take that mid game, but Milotic here says, no, I'm going to swap in, throw you completely off, and have my opponent make a mistake, as Swampert now is going to be taking a Surf. So this is looking to be a good game. Alolan Sandslash does not have enough health or energy to take out both the Kyurem and the Jellicent. Swampert as well is in a very tough position where they have to throw an Earthquake, but no, they go for Hydro Cannon. Milotic now looking to load up on energy, but ultimately Swampert is forced to throw, as we will see the Kyurem come in and try to go for a charge. No! It doesn't even KO. They're going to come in with the Kyurem and fully farm down, even though the Earthquake here, potential Earthquake, is going to be landing. No, it's just another Hydro Cannon. Oh, man. They come in with Sandslash now. The Sandslash does have an Ice Punch ready to go, maybe 2. But they decide to go for Bulldoze. That is not enough to KO, as they can go for Glaciate here to take out the Sandslash, and Dragon Breath is going to be taking this game. So that is going to be a good battle, very well played. Swampert, ultimately, I think the misplay there was not going for Earthquake. You gave too much room for Milotic, and Milotic, when given the opportunity, is going to continue to put on the pressure with Dragon Tail and Surf. All right, moving into the next battle. We will have a Finding Opponent in the 2500s. This is honestly how it feels for anyone watching still at 23 minutes. Shout out to you, but queue times have been adding up. All right, moving up, we got Kyurem versus Walrein. So we'll have to see what they decide to do. They're going to swap into Milotic right away, get ahead on energy, and Walrein may not have a great answer in the back, so they're looking to stay in and go for that potential Earthquake, as we now see a swap out into Swampert and going for Surf. I want to see the Hyper Beam, but they're going for Surfs here, get that guaranteed damage, because the opponent might just shield, and they do right there. So now they can keep loading up on energy, and Earthquake and Sludge Wave is not going to be enough to one-shot a Milotic from this range, I believe. So we might just be able to see 3 Surfs be fired off to get shield number 2. So here comes the charge move. If it's Earthquake, they're going to go ahead and shield. If it is, no, it's just going to be a Hydro Cannon. Unfortunate shield bait right there from the opponent, but Surf, it doesn't matter. Milotic is too consistent. Dragon Tail, Surf, the onslaught, the consistent damage putting out right here, that they can Dragon Tail down and completely take out the Swampert, completely take Switch. Walrein does have loaded energy, but it's really not going to go anywhere, as they have to throw an Earthquake, and it's not even going to be enough to potentially take out this Milotic. Let's find out. Earthquake does land. Yeah, not enough to take out Milotic, so Walrein is going to be forced to throw another charge move here, as they're going to be able to bait. No, they don't get to the Hyper Beam in time. Walrein committed to that full farm down, and ultimately it paid off as they now have another Earthquake ready to go for Jellicent. And it's got to beg the question, what is in the back? They must be extremely weak to Water-type Pokemon. No, not really. It's going to be a Golem in the back, a Alolan Golem at that. But unfortunately for Golem, it is very weak to Water-type charge moves, as Surf now is going to be fired off back-to-back, forcing the final shield of this game. And we will see the Kyurem basically sweep with Dragon Breath. So they're going to go ahead and swap out now into Kyurem. And they actually have to watch out for Stone Edge here. They're going to let it go. It's going to do a lot of damage, and it was just a Rock Blast shield bait. But as you can see, that was Rock Blast, and that did an incredible amount. But either way, Kyurem was able to survive. Dragon Claw is going to be taking out the Golem, and we will see a Jellicent or Kyurem sweep right here. We're going to see the surrender anyway, so that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. I think we have another one. Yep, we do have another one. Yeah, this is the final one right here. All right, moving into this final battle. These are some fun sets, or some fun battles to watch, I should say. We have a Charizard on the lead. All right, so Charizard not going to like this team, as we do see a swap out now into Jellicent and a counter swap into Kingdra. So a good position for this Jellicent here to potentially get themselves shield advantage and a good farm down while also keeping Milotic away. Well, actually, Milotic would do all right. Dragon Tail would really add up, but they just have to watch out for the outrage as the opponent decided to go for a shield. So this is a position where they're going to risk it. They're going to no shield, calling the potential Octazooka, but no, it was the outrage, and they don't hang on. So here, they're going to come in with that Milotic, and this is a very good situation like I was talking about earlier. You can safely shield the charge move here coming from Kingdra, because the energy you're going to have on the back end of this is going to be so worth it for the full farm down, even though it is Octazooka. And no attack debuff, which means they get the full farm down. They have a Hyper Beam ready to go. What is in the back? It is going to be a Poliwrath. So Hyper Beam now is going to do an incredible amount of damage to this Poliwrath as they decide to let it go through. And Milotic now looking to farm down the Poliwrath. And we might see a swap out in a minute here to Kyurem, because they need to use Milotic in order to win. But Dynamic Punch, no, is going to land. Barely able to hang on. We do see that swap now, and in comes the Charizard. So this is where Charizard can really go to town. They have access to Blast Burn and Dragon Claws. It's going to be doing super effective damage, but not enough to KO as they go for the Glaciate here to try to get that final shield from Shadow Charizard. But ultimately, oh yeah, they do shield. Charizard can control this battle now as they can go for a Dragon Claw. And they're going to shield, risking it all on Kyurem here to try to win this game. Because if they can get to this Dragon Claw in time, they might be able to Dragon Breath down the Poliwrath, who will have to throw energy potentially. I don't think Mudshot is going to be enough. It's not. They're going to be able to Dragon Breath down, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. What a comeback right there. And that ultimately came to Milotic loading up on that energy in the mid game, and that was beautiful to see against the Kingdra. So shout out to I'm Rolling Stone. Thank you for sharing these battles with us. That was really fun. We got to see Milotic just put in work today. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.